Right. So good morning, everybody. I'm so happy to see you all. Right now, we have 110 Delta Dental Associates on this call. So nice to see you. We know that this is an optional program, and we admire and appreciate your interest in learning more about these different things that we like to present as a diversity council. So I'm here to introduce Mary Beth Bull, who's the Director of Development at Big Brothers Big Sisters. She started 22 years ago yesterday as a part-timer, and she's here with us today again as the Director of Development. She's also a big sister. And with us also is Sharon Orefechi. I think I got that maybe with the emphasis on the F. Director of Programs at Big Brothers Big Sisters. She is in her 14th year. So it's Big Brothers Big Sisters, we understand, is very much like our organization. There's a lot of tenure in our organization. And so it's great to have folks presenting to us this morning that have a similar culture, obviously. I am going to go ahead and share my screen and the presentation. And without further ado, Mary Beth and Shannon, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you.
Good morning, everybody. As Lois said, thank you for those intros, Lois. I'm Mary Beth Bull, and I'm the Director of Development at Big Brothers Big Sisters of Coastal and Northern New Jersey. Shannon will tell you a little bit more about our expansion in 2019, 2020. But for right now, I have been with the organization, as Lois said, for 22 years. Shannon's also a long-term employee. We have a lot of tenure at our agency because we love what we do. We're very passionate about making matches, supporting matches, and helping the kids in the community. So I'm thrilled to be with you. Want to thank Delta Dental for all that you do for our organization. You guys have been huge supporters of the agency in Northern New Jersey before we took it on in 2019 and are continuing to support in many ways. So thank you for that. And I'll kick it off to Shannon to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. As Lois said, I'm Shannon Orefechi. I'm the Director of Programs for Big Brothers Big Sisters of Coastal and Northern New Jersey. And like she also said, I've been with the organization for 14 years. And at that time, it was an agency that only served one county, which was Monmouth County at the time. And our level of service back then was serving about 250 children. And here we are in 2023, serving 10 counties with our expected level of service of 1,600 children in these 10 counties. We have about 25 staff, and we work out of 2 offices, one in Asbury Park and the other in Morristown. And before we started this meeting today, we talked a little bit about the great DEI work that Delta Dental is doing, and we are very like-minded in that way. We also have a DEI steering committee, which truly is probably one of my biggest accomplishments in all these 14 years. And involving so many levels of the organization in that work has really been an honor. So I applaud all the great work you all are doing. And we'll move to the next slide. This next slide will just basically explain our agency's vision, mission, and approach. And through this mission to create and support one-to-one mentoring relationships, like I mentioned, we are projected to serve 1,600 children by the end of 2023 through various mentoring program models that Mary Beth and I are going to detail throughout this presentation today. You can go to the next slide.
I'm sure everybody here today knows that mentorship changes lives. If we all think back, I'm sure we can think of at least one person besides our parents that were instrumental in helping us to become the people that we are today. So that's why we are in existence and have been for 46 years. And over 100 years nationally, Big Brothers Big Sisters has been changing lives of young people and helping them to become success in life. A major societal issue that we're addressing is that 1 in 3 kids in America are growing up without a sustained adult mentor in their life. Locally, we have about 100 kids or more at any given moment on our waiting list, waiting to be matched with a big brother or a big sister. Nationally, we have over 30,000 youth waiting for a big brother or big sister. And the solution to that is mentorship is one of the most powerful tools we have to close the gap between youth and their possibility, which means their future plans, becoming a successful member of society, and basically to have a happy life. So the connection and confidence that mentoring inspires can have a ripple effect in a young person's life and helping them to pursue their dreams and to make themselves successful in life. We can go to the next one. Did we skip ahead one?
We did. I'm sorry. We'll go
That's
back.
okay. So what we do, basically, Big Brothers Big Sisters provides one-to-one mentoring for kids facing adversity. It can be a child that's living at home with one parent. Perhaps they have a parent who's incarcerated. Lots of different things that could come into play that would make them want to have somebody in their life to help them, whether it be with school, with just being a person there for them to talk with, to have a relationship with. And so we're providing this by carefully matching each child that comes into our program with a caring adult mentor. And then we're supporting the child, the mentor, and their parent, guardian, family to ensure that the match grows and becomes a safe and successful match. And we're also empowering youth to achieve success in school, avoid risky behaviors, and basically to improve their self-confidence through mentoring. And I can speak to this. I don't know if Lois mentioned that I am a big sister. I've been one for over 4 years. And my little sister I'm really seeing her blossom now. And sometimes you don't see it right away, but you stick with it. And now she just started high school and she's in the ROTC program and doing fantastic. She stepped up to be a leader, something that I've been telling her since I met her when she was 11, that she's a leader, not a follower. And I'm really seeing that come to fruition now with her. And she wants to go to college and she's got her sights set on that. So it might not happen overnight, but it will happen. And we just need people to step up and be interested in becoming a mentor.
Before we move on, Mary Beth, how long have you had your little?
It's over 4 years.
Okay. And I know that we spoke about this. You have, I think, 2 boys, is that right?
I do. I have 2 grown sons.
2 grown sons, and you have a little girl now, a little sister that's a little girl.
I do. And I also have a grandson. That's a recent development as well. So I have yes, I love having the little girl though. And she's not so little, but she's great. And I'm really enjoying my time with her. I'm getting as much out of it, by the way, as she is. She teaches me a lot of things. It really makes me see myself. And I have to really think about how I'm presenting myself. I mean, I'm me. I think I'm this person that you're seeing now. However, you just want to make sure you're being at your very best. So it's definitely made me become a better person as well.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing to hear. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank
So
you.
speaking of the children in our program, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our littles, which is what we call them, our littles and our bigs. The children in our program must be ages 6 to 17 at the time of enrollment. Children are referred for various reasons, like Mary Beth mentioned, but primarily due to challenges socially, emotionally, and or academically. But they all have one thing in common, and that they're missing the support of another caring adult in their life. Most likely, they have a parent in their lives. We're not replacing a parent. We're just adding that second or third mentor in their life that everyone needs. Right now, we have 113 children on our waiting list, or our children waiting to be matched, 75 of which are boys. We couldn't do what we do without having a waiting list. I just want to point that out, that even though there's 113 children on our waiting list, we are in a position to match all of them at a certain point. It does take a little bit of time, particularly with boys. So we wouldn't be doing our jobs if we didn't tell you that part of our reason for being here today is to hopefully recruit some or attract some mentors that might want to step up and apply to become bigs. Like Mary Beth said, there's two things that have not changed over the years that I've been here. One is that the phone keeps ringing of moms wanting their children enrolled. And secondly, that the bigs all say the same thing, that they get so much out of it. They thought it was going to be this big time commitment, but what comes back to them in the end is really just so special and life-changing for them as well. Speaking of our bigs, we'll move to the next slide.
So a bit about becoming a big brother or big sister. You need to be at least 19 years old and living or working in one of the 10 counties that we serve. So you could live outside of the county, but if you're working in one of those counties and can make time while you're there to meet with a little brother or little sister, that is fine. You don't need to have any specific title, degree, any real qualifications other than being a compassionate, accepting, patient person. And one of our newest taglines that we're using is a child will never ask that you be perfect, only that you be present. And that's really what it's about, to be very consistent and to make at least a 1-year commitment. And as I mentioned, I've been with my little for over 4 years. The time has flown, and I fully expect that I will be with her until she graduates from high school, and that will be lifelong friends. And that's really our goal. A lot of our bigs and littles do stay together for 10 years. Some are a little bit shorter for various reasons. Perhaps the big moves away, or there could be a life change, or the little might move. There are reasons for it, but we do ask that you make a 1-year commitment to mentoring that young person.
Great. And I just want to remind everybody, feel free to put your questions in chat. Sherry is going to be monitoring the questions in the chat, and we'll get to those questions when we're at the end.
Thank you, Lois. And as a youth serving organization, child safety is our #1 priority. Our volunteer applicants go through an extensive screening process, as you can imagine. That includes background checks, an extensive interview with a case manager, Big Brothers Big Sisters, mentor training session. We have diversity, equity, and inclusion training as well. We find that it's incredibly important that the children are both safe physically, but also emotionally, and that our volunteers are equipped to work with diverse youth in our program. In addition to that, as a youth serving organization, we also believe that it's our job to make sure that child safety is taught to all participants in our program, including parents and guardians. And they are required to attend a child safety training that's titled Your Child's Personal Safety. That was developed a few years ago by Big Brothers Big Sisters of America in partnership with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. In addition to that, as Mary Beth can attest, as a big sister herself, and Karen, who's here today, every child and volunteer and parent in our program, we don't just match them and let them go off and spend 2 to 4 hours twice a month on their own. We provide ongoing support. So everybody in our program has an assigned case manager at Big Brothers Big Sisters. That's a professional social worker that contacts them regularly. In the first year, it's monthly phone calls with a case manager, and then after that, it goes to quarterly. But of course, the phone works both ways. Case managers are always available to their parents and the bigs and the children to provide that ongoing support and training and needs that come along the way.
The main program that we offer at Big Brothers Big Sisters is our community-based mentoring program. And this program connects youth with a committed volunteer, as Shannon and I both touched upon already. This is the one where big and little spends quality one-to-one time together out in the community. The big picks the little up at their home, and they go out in the community to do what we often ask or suggest is low cost activities for about 4 to 6 hours a month. So it's generally twice a month. It's on your schedule. It's time that you work out with your little and their parent to go and pick them up and then take them out. And Shannon is going to go into this a little bit later about some of the activities that we provide through the agency to help with this, to get together with other bigs and littles, other ways that, you know, they can have fun together in the community. And the goal of this is to build a trusting friendship with positive guidance and support. And as I mentioned earlier, a minimum of 1 year commitment is required. And we often have bigs and littles staying together well beyond that. And oftentimes until the little graduates high school or turns 18, whichever is later.
So in addition to our traditional mentoring programs that Mary Beth mentioned, we provide, oh, sorry, we skipped the match highlight. Sorry, Mary Beth, that's your part.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So we do have a match with us today that will speak to us in person, but this is one of our match highlights. And this is a match that Shannon and I knew when they first began. So they were together for 10 years and just an amazing match. You can see the black and white photo of when Eleanor was a little girl and now graduated from high school, which we're so proud of her. And she is looking into her options now for the future. And there she is with her big sister, Sandy, who was just, they had a lot of challenges. Eleanor had challenges throughout her life with family things and so forth. And Sandy just never wavered. As a matter of fact, she was our big sister of the year a couple of years ago. They were the big and little sister of the year. So amazing match, just one of the many that we have, and just love having them still involved with us. Eleanor sings the national anthem at one of our events every year. So it's makes us one of the many reasons we like to come to work every day.
So as I was mentioning, our traditional, in addition to our traditional mentoring program that Mary Beth just mentioned, we also provide auxiliary services that go well beyond mentoring. So in 2020, when the pandemic hit, these services were basically at an all-time high. So we decided to formalize these wraparound services into what we call our CARES program, which stands for Creating Access to Resources, Events, and Support. So in addition to providing support to our active matches, as soon as a child becomes what we call ready to be matched or placed on our waiting list, they're immediately enrolled in our CARES program. And therefore they're eligible, them and their family are eligible for all the opportunities that we offer through this program. And this includes food security, Big Brothers, Big Sisters events or donated tickets. We do a huge backpack drive at the beginning of the school year where every child in our program starts off the school year with a brand new backpack filled with supplies that are age appropriate. We do a huge holiday giving campaign with Adopt a Family. We have youth empowerment programs, including a girl empowerment program that we started. And we even have a virtual tutoring program where we partner with high achieving high school students who serve as mentors in a virtual atmosphere with their with littles in our program. We actually started that program basically based on a major need during the pandemic when the children were at home learning out of their bedrooms, and our parents were just didn't know what to do, and they called us, and we started this tutoring program, and we did not know how it was going to go. And here we are, not needing a virtual tutoring program, we thought, but we're now still continuing it. It's every Wednesday. These kids get on Zoom, we put them in breakout rooms, and kids that are just a little bit older than them are helping them with their homework, helping them with their organizational skills, working on whatever they're struggling in school. And our parents could not be more appreciative of this free service because, as we all know, tutoring is extremely expensive. In our next slide, we go through here. It's important for people to know that beyond our traditional community-based mentoring program that Mary Beth is a big sister in, our fastest growing mentoring program model is our group mentoring programs, which is our proactive approach to reaching more children in a group mentoring setting in partnership with schools. So I mentioned that we are going to set to serve 1,600 children by the end of December. And that's because we are in, I believe, 21 school districts and we have 35 programs within those districts, which encompass these programs. These programs all take place on a set day and time on a bi-weekly schedule for an academic year. Our staff manages the recruitment, the application process, enrollment, and comes to each session with planned activities, presentations, and projects for the bigs and littles to do together as our friendship grows along the way. So it's important to talk about these programs in any of our presentations, because we often will do presentations to school districts, county superintendents, things like that, just so people understand that some of the ways to get to children that need our services in the program are not going to be the families that pick up the phone and call us. It's those kids that we have to go through kind of the side door into the school system and work with the advocates that are wanting them to have a mentor through these unique programs. So one of our really exciting programs that we have, and probably our most robust, is our school-based program, where we work with high school students who are doing the mentoring themselves, and they mentor younger students in middle or elementary school during a lunchtime or after school setting. And they work together on themes like self-esteem, team building, STEM activities, anti-bullying, healthy friendships, coping skills, and other important topics. This program is great because it expands our reach. So not only are we serving the littles in the program, but the high school students, we're serving them as well. And oftentimes in diverse districts where these kids might not have the opportunity to get these leadership skills, they're suddenly becoming a mentor for the first time and really being empowered. And so we also consider ourselves a youth empowerment program. Our workplace programs is where we partner with a company, and the employees of the specific company, such as a hospital or a corporation, they mentor students at their place of business. So we bus the children over to the school, to the company. We currently have programs with Deloitte, BMW, New Jersey Natural Gas, and 3 hospitals in New Jersey. We also do college-based mentoring programs, which is the same model. It's that one-to-one mentoring, but it's in a group setting where we take elementary, middle, or high school students. They're paired one-to-one with a college student. They visit the college campus twice a month, experiencing college tours, exploring majors and campus life, and seeing the importance of pursuing post-secondary choices. Our Bigs in Blue mentoring program is a form of our workplace mentoring program, where we partner with a county sheriff's office. Right now, we have one program in Morris County where we match children with police officers who serve as the mentors while the children are receiving department tours, such as CSI or canine demonstrations. This program was developed by Big Brothers Big Sisters of America in Miami as a way to bridge the gap between law enforcement and the community and the families that they serve. And so we're following that same model, and we really have seen amazing things from this. And we're looking to expand that as well. And finally, our youth empowerment program is, we pride ourselves on being a prevention organization, but we do have one diversion program, which is this mentoring program, where we partnered with the county, and we serve children ages 11 to 17 who have committed a first-time minor offense, and they're mandated to participate in this program. The youth are referred through the court or probation, and we run a non-threatening approach to help these kids replace those negative behaviors with positive actions. We really focus this program on not being punitive, but more on positivity, personal growth, overcoming obstacles, and achieving success. We're really looking, these are first-time offenses, and we're really trying to get these kids to not stay in the system, but instead find things in their life that could that they could focus on that's positive and productive.
So our impact, all of the things that Shannon talked about with all of our programs and our bigs and the impact that they have leads to these outcomes. And these are just a few of them. 92% of our littles believe they will go on to and graduate from college. 92% feel confident in their social acceptance, and 96% are competent in avoiding risky behaviors like drug and alcohol use. So we're very proud of these. As you can see, they're pretty strong outcomes, and we do a self-assessment when the littles begin our program, and then we assess them later on to, come up with these outcomes from the program. So how you can help. There's a lot of ways, and we're going to go through them, but let's start with how you can become a big. You can go to the next slide. Thank you. You can actually go to the next one, Lois, please. So we talked a lot about becoming a big and a little bit about the process, but there is quite an established process to get to being a big, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer depending on how you go through the process. A lot of it depends on the volunteer, and I'll have Shannon weigh in if I forget anything here, but there is a lot that goes into it, and rightfully so, because the most important thing is that the children are safe, and also the volunteers, that you know that we have the processes in place to make sure that you're in an environment and in a relationship that is being well supported. So it begins with what we call an inquiry call. So that would be calling our agency and having a conversation with one of our case managers. And they'll tell you all about the program, what the expectations are, and what the process would look like. If you like it and you think that you're a good match for this, there are sometimes people that will call and they won't be appropriate for one reason or another. Perhaps they don't live or work in our counties, or perhaps they have a major life change that would prevent them from doing this right now. If you were thinking about moving and within the next year, you would not be a good candidate because you have to commit to a 1 year with your little. So things along those lines. But if you are a good candidate and you're excited about doing it, you would move on to the application process. And that process can be done online. We have a great system in place where things are just immediately put into a system that we have access to at all times. So we would immediately start to go through your application and set up an interview. And that interview could be either in person or virtual. I think most of them are virtual. And that's been actually something that's been a benefit after the pandemic, is that everyone does virtual meetings, and we can do an interview virtually since we have such a big area. Next comes the processing. That's processing from the interview, just going through. Our case managers are so well trained, and they know what to look for throughout the interview process and also the application process. So they're making sure that the person that's applied to become a big is somebody that will be a positive and consistent person in a little's life. And then they move on to the pre-match training. And that's typically done, there's various times. It could be in the evening, it could be on a weekend. And it's a 2-hour training where an overview is given, and also scenarios. And I've been through it, it's been a while, but I really got so much out of it because there's a lot of scenarios that are presented to the group, and you have to come up with what you would do in that situation. And these situations could present themselves. It could be something as easy as you go to drop your little back at home after you're together and the mom's not home. What do you do now? So these are things that are covered, and you would know how to handle any of these situations, and always are supported by an amazing team on the program side of the agency. After the training is actually another form of screening of the volunteer. Again, we're so selective about who we accept, because we want, as much as we need people for the 100 kids on the waiting list, we do want to make sure that everybody that comes into the program is a person that can be a positive role model. So the next would be the enrollment decision. We would take a look at, is this person a good person to become a big brother or big sister? Hopefully the answer is yes. Then we also have children coming in on the other side. So we would take we would take a few children that would match sort of the age range and description of what this potential big would like to be matched with. So it's on both sides. The child would and parent would decide what type of big are they looking for. What are their interests? What are their hobbies? We want to make sure that the match the two people, human beings that we're putting together, have some things in common that they would enjoy doing together. For instance, my little and I love being outside. We love reading. We like arts and crafts. So we had a lot of the similar things that we enjoyed. So that's what helped us to be together for all of these years so far. Once we decide on who would make a good match, it's time to make the match. And those have been happening. Those are in person. They can be either at the child's home with the parent there, or it can be out in the community. We've been doing them at different places, especially during the pandemic. We were meeting in parks and we were meeting outside a lot. And now we're meeting at places in the community. Maybe it's a coffee shop or a place like that, a library, places where we can meet and get the match together for the first time. Shannon, did you want to add anything to the process?
No, I think you hit on everything. The main thing is that we look at preferences of the families, and we look at, the volunteers' experience with youth. But we also have a staff that's been doing this for a long time, and they really know what works and what doesn't work. So sometimes if a little says, I just want a big sister who's 19, we might call them and offer the 45-year-old big sister, because we know in our hearts it's going to work. So we take preferences. It's definitely important to take those preferences into account, but we also we have a staff that really does this. It's a work of art how they put together these matches. So
I just have to add to that for, having worked with this team for many years and others before that, in all the years I've been there, incredible the way that they put together a match. It really is a work of art. So I can't say enough about how they take everything that you say. I knew that I did not want to be with a 6-year-old just because they might have more energy than I could handle. So I think I wanted more of like a middle school age child. And that's what I ended up getting. And it's been working out so well for me. And other people might want a little bit older child. Some people like to have one that's young and energetic. So they really do take into consideration what your preferences are, and again, what your interests are. And that's what makes these matches really hit it off and stay strong for a long time. Other ways to support. So we've been talking a lot about our programs, and that is really at the core of Big Brothers Big Sisters. Our two departments, which are programs and development, we work really closely together, because on the other side of the programs is how are we going to fund these programs? And we do receive funding from the federal government, from the state government, from local county governments. So we do get some government funding, but most of our funding streams come from other ways. So there's lots of ways you can support. Some of them involve money, but others don't. So some of these things are host an info session. So perhaps some of you on this Zoom today might be involved in other groups. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be doing this same presentation at a group, a Rotary group, in a couple weeks. And I'll do that virtually as well. Kiwanis Club, Elks clubs, other organizations, perhaps schools, or any kind of organization that you might be involved with, we can host an info session. And additionally, we do have info sessions twice a month, and they are at different times of the day, sometimes early in the day, sometimes in the middle of the day, or early evening. So whoever might want to come from the community and join our virtual info sessions can do that. So hosting one is a great way you can support if you have a group that would like to hear this presentation. Spread the word. Now you've heard a lot about us, and hopefully you've been inspired to maybe become a big yourself, or perhaps somebody that would make a great big. So just spread the word about Big Brothers Big Sisters and the great work that we're doing. It's really life-changing work at the end of the day. The kids come out of the program, they are excited for their future, and really we're changing the communities that we all live and work in by helping the youth to get to their greatest potential. Host a drive or event. these are things like the school supply drive, or we do a holiday drive for gift cards. Things along those lines are ways that we can do corporate involvement. Or personally, we have people that will help with school supplies, or that adopt a family in our adoptive family program at the holidays. So it could be a personal thing, or it could be something that you do at work or with other people. Join a leadership board. That's something that we have several of. We have our governance board, which is sort of our overarching leadership for the agency. And then we have our regional boards. We have a coastal regional board for people that are living in the coastal region and the coastal counties in our agency. And we also have a northern regional board. The boards work together, but they're helping us to open doors in the different areas. Since we do have such a large area and a rather small staff, we definitely need help with getting people to spread the word about our need and to help us at a board level. So if that's something you're interested in, you can reach out to me after, and we can talk more about that. And again, donate or fundraise. Those are things we're always in need of. We have a lot of events. Lois, there might be a next slide after this that I can go on to talk about the events that we have coming up. We do several appeals during the year, usually one at the end of the year. We do a big Giving Tuesday event for raising funds, and we do something in the middle of the year for raising funds. And additionally, we do quite a few events throughout the year, and these are just a few that are coming up. Lois, I apologize. This is an old slide. I thought that I had replaced it because this Big Shots Golf Classic was already passed on October 2nd. But I will give a shout out to Paul DeMeo, who's on our governance board, and he also does a lot for our Big Shots Golf Classic. So thanks to Paul for that. He's been really a wonderful person to have at Big Brothers Big Sisters. Something coming up locally in northern New Jersey, the Giralda Farms Run. Some of you might be familiar with it. It's not something that we put together. It's put together by an organization, but we're a beneficiary of it this year. So we're really excited. We're not going to receive a ton of funding from it, but it's more important that we get out in the community. It's going to be held in Madison on November 12th. And it's something that we're really excited about partnering on, because we are trying to make more friends and partners in the Northern New Jersey agency, since we haven't been there as long as we were in Monmouth County. March 2nd, moving on into 2024, we have the Heldrich Craft Beer and Spirit Festival, something that's been on pause for a couple of years. Last time we had it was right before the pandemic in 2020. And this is, again, not one of our events that is planned by the team that works with me at Big Brothers Big Sisters, but a great event, community event, way to spread the word and have a great time and support our agency. So that's going to be at the Heldrich Hotel in Middlesex County in New Brunswick in March. Something else we have happening, it's actually happening today at 4 o'clock. We have our big 50-50 raffle. If you haven't heard of it, we have 10 prizes. And it will be, last year we gave away $14,000 in prizes. So if that's something you're interested in, it's $20 a ticket, and you can still get in the game. Again, you would just have to reach out to me after this, and I can write out the tickets for you, send you a picture, and you can send over the cash if you're interested in doing that. So tons of ways to get involved. Other ways to volunteer if you're not able to be a big brother or big sister, volunteering in one of our 2 offices. We have one in Asbury Park and one in Morristown. You can help us with volunteering in that way. As I said, a possibility of being on a board or a committee. We have a big gala every year in June, and we have a gala committee for that. So if there's things that you're interested in helping with from a volunteer standpoint, would love to talk to you more about that.
Thank you. And you know what, Mary Beth, I'm thinking if you can share the information in chat, one of you, or either you or Shannon, on how to do those 2020 tickets, if there's a website or something like that, or
Okay, sure.
take a look at that.
Yes, I can.
Should I move on to the next slide?
Sure.
Okay. And just a time check, just want to, I guess we're close to that anyway. It's about 10 after 9, just so that you know.
Okay, great. I think this is our last slide, and then we'll move on to our match and then questions. So connecting with us, here's our social platforms, and we encourage you to stay in the know about what's happening at Big Brothers Big Sisters by joining us on social media.
Great. Thank you so much for all of this information. I think I'm going to stop. I'm going to leave this screen up for just a second. Our next part of the program is going to be a discussion with Karen Hepp and her little. So I'm going to stop sharing here, and I'll go ahead and let you guys get started with this next part of the program.
Great. Thank you, Lois. And also, I did want to just say that obviously we'll do Q&A as well, but if anyone is interested in being a big or just wants more information on anything with the program department, I'm sure I could drop my information into the chat, or Lois can hopefully share mine and Mary Beth's contact information afterwards. But today we shared a ton of information about our program, but there's really no better way to illustrate the work that we do than through our bigs, our littles, and our families. We couldn't do the work we do without the parents in our program, which is why I'm so thrilled that we have one with us today as well, because you all are experiencing the program firsthand. So we're excited to introduce you all to our special guests, including, for those of you who don't know her, Delta Dental team member and big sister Karen Hepp, and her little sister, Zariah, and Zariah's mom, Chanel. They have agreed to be here today for a little question and answer. Is everyone here, Karen?
Yes, we are here.
Great. Awesome. There's a lot of people on this call, so I haven't seen them yet, but I'll start with you, Karen. So what made you decide to volunteer with Big Brothers Big Sisters? And can you just tell us a little bit about the day you were matched with your little sister?
Yeah, so I just first want to say good morning, everyone, and thanks to Paul and Lois for asking me to be a part of this. I also want to thank Mary Beth and Shannon for all the work that you do for this wonderful program. And I want to say hi to my little Zariah and her mom, Chanel. I saw them before, but the screen changed. So, but they are here. So it's nice to see her, to see them both. So what made me want to get involved in this program? So over 10 years ago, I had a friend who was on the board of the Monmouth chapter of Big Brothers Big Sisters, and I got involved as a volunteer to help raise money for a casino night. I think Mary Beth had mentioned that, and that's really where I learned about the program and what Big Brothers and Big Sisters did. It was a great night. We raised a lot of money, and so it was always in the back of my mind, this program that I had learned about. And I would say for probably the last 4 or 5 years, I had been considering getting involved and becoming a big. And, you know, I felt that I was at a point in my life where I had the resources, right? I had the time, and I wanted to give back. I thought that this would be, you know, something that would be rewarding for myself and hopefully for my little. And so late last year in 2022, I went online and I filled out the application. I went through the process, which for anyone who's considering this, it's a great process. I feel for me, it was an easy process. I was approved in February, and I got matched, I believe, within 1 month of being approved for the program. And I think, Shannon, you asked about what the first day was like when I was matched, when I met Zariah.
Yes.
It was a big day, I have to say. I went to Chanel and Zariah's house, and our case manager, Rachel, was there. And Chanel did not tell Zariah what was happening that day. This was a big surprise for her that she was getting a big sister. So when I showed up, she didn't know what was happening. So she was a little shy when we got introduced, but part of the process is once you meet with your little, they ask that you go outside, go for a walk, get, acquainted. And it wasn't long before Soraya was opening up to me. She was very communicative. Right then and there, I knew it was a good match, and it's been that way ever since. So it was a great first day, and it was over 6 months ago, but I remember it very clearly, like it was just yesterday. So wonderful
Awesome.
experience.
Thank you so much, Karen. And Zoraya, I see you over there. It took me a while to find you on this. There's tons of people on here. And I first just want to say you should be so proud of yourself for showing up at a big corporate meeting this morning. And I bet you get to go to school a little late for it too, which is kind of fun, right? So Zoraya, can you tell me what your favorite activity you've done with Karen so far? And tell us a little bit about Karen.
My first activity was going to the what is it? Homedale Park.
Oh, what did you do at the park?
It took us a while to find the playground because we parked too far from the playground, and then we had to walk through the grass, and it was really, really long to get there.
So that was your favorite activity, go in the park? Awesome. So Chanel, I wanted to ask you a question because I know that hi Chanel, you have a
Hi.
unique experience with Big Brothers Big Sisters. And if you don't mind sharing your unique experience personally and why you enrolled Zoraya.
Just get away from me. Sorry, I have 3 kids, so I'm sorry.
We get it. It's okay.
My unique experience was I was a part of the Big Brother Big Sister years ago. My grandfather had my grandfather Twilly Curry. He was a big brother, rest his soul. And I will always be jealous because he had this boy with him, and I'm like, well, where's this boy? He's not, where did he come from? But he would go to our family functions, and he just became like our family. So I was like, I want one of those. So I went to my mom, and I was like, I want a big sister. I was like, what do I have to do? Like, can you sign me up for this? And then she signed me up for it, and my big sister, I never forget, my big sister came to the house, and my big sister, she don't really like being touched. She don't like being hugged. That's not her. I literally nearly sat on her lap, and I was like, hi, I'm so eager to meet you. And we've been in touch since. And I'm 33, so I met her when I was like 12.
Wow.
So she's been a part of my life, and she's great. She's part of my kids' life. I still talk to her today. So I was like, with the great experience that I had, I definitely had to give Zoraya one.
That's
and
amazing.
Since I've been seeing changes with her, like a lot of changes. Because I'm a single mom, so it takes a village. So when Karen came into her life, she has another outlet if she's having a bad day or she needs somebody else to talk to besides me. And she gets excited to see Karen and, do different activities. So I'm glad that she's a part of Big Brother Big Sister. So
thank you
guys
so
for
much,
finding
Chanel.
me.
And Zoraya, before you jump in the back seat again, I got some more questions for you. So what is your favorite thing about Karen?
He's funny.
And how would you describe her besides funny? What do you like? Why do you like every weekend when she picks you up? What do you like about that?
That we do fun activities.
Awesome. And Karen, I'm going to jump back to you. Do you feel that there was a turning point in your friendship?
As I mentioned, Zoraya is, from the minute I met her, she was very communicative. She shares her life. She shares about her family. She shares about her best friends. And, she likes to talk, and she comes up with ideas for things for us to do. So I think it's not one moment. It's just all these little moments every time we spend together. It just continues to evolve, and and we continue to get to know each other better. And it's really nice. I think that she trusts me, and we just continue to grow the relationship. So I don't think it was one specific turning point.
And did you have a favorite memory with her so far? I know it's still the beginning of your friendship, but what would you say your favorite memory is?
I do. Well, I have a lot of favorite memories with Soraya, but this one she's gonna remember. So we went to Allaire State Park, and we rode the train. For anyone who hasn't been there, it's really nice. So we rode the train, that was fun. And then we walked and we walked and we walked, and we heard music, right, Soraya? We couldn't find where the music was coming from. And so every time we feel like we got closer to it, it got farther away. So when we got into the car, Soraya turned it into like a detective agency. And we laughed the whole ride home, and we actually found where the music was coming from. So we just had such a great day. It was so much fun. I hadn't heard her laugh like that. And it was that's a memorable moment for me, because we had so much fun.
Awesome. So in the interest of time, I know that we still have Q&A, but as a last question for really all three of you, Chanel, Soraya, what would you like the community to know about the impact of Big Brothers Big Sisters, or what would you tell a person that's considering volunteering? And I'd love to, if Karen could answer that question as well.
Yep. Go ahead,
Chanel, if you want to, start.
Yeah.
I would say do it. Do it, because you're going to change somebody's life. It's so many, especially with the way that the world is today. There's so many young people that is out there that's broken and lost. And just to have a big sister or a big brother come into their life, you might just change that child's life forever. And that's just like, for me, my life was changed. I was lost. And then my big sister came in, and I had that outlet. And, so I would just say, if you have the time and you can do it, just do it. You don't think twice about it, just do it. Like,
Thank you,
just, go ahead, Zara. What would you tell them?
Same thing. People should volunteer, right? Thank you. What about you, Karen?
Shannon, what I would say is that I wanted to give back, and I thought that this would enrich my life. I thought that I could help enrich someone else's life, but really what I've gotten out of this program and how it's changed me and enriched my life, just from knowing Soraya and Chanel, who is such a great mom, and the communication that she and I have makes this whole process and the whole experience for me so much better, because we have such a great relationship. So I would encourage someone who's been thinking about it to do it. It's a great program, and it really has changed me and my life, and I hope it's changed Soraya's life as well.
Well, thank you both so much for coming today, and Chanel, for your partnership. We couldn't do what we do without the parents in this program, and you really are the true heroes of the story that pick up the phone and get your children involved. And Karen, for your volunteerism, thank you so much. And Soraya, so good to meet you. You should be proud of yourself. This is a big day for you.
Yes.
Hi, Chanel. It's
Thank
Mary
you guys
Beth.
for your time. Hi, Mary Beth.
Hi, I haven't seen you in so long, and I loved what you said. You put it perfectly. Hi, Soraya. I'm so happy with seeing your daughter and knowing she's in the program and how well you're doing. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. It's been life changing. Actually, I met you when I was like little. I met Mary Beth years ago.
I'm feeling really old when you said you're 33, right? 33.
Yeah.
Chanel, I have a grandchild
I met Mary
now.
Beth when I used to be in the Mama's Mall downstairs.
That's right. Those are fun memories.
Yeah.
Well, I love seeing you today. Thank you for your time coming on here.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. You guys have a blessed day. Bye.
You as well. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
So I think Sherry has some questions that the group
Yep.
has asked. I don't know that we'll get to all of them. However, Following this presentation, what we'll do is we'll share out, when we post this to our Diversity Council page, we'll share out the link for that. We'll also share out a survey, and in that survey, we'll answer your questions, and we'll also, any that we don't get to, and we'll give you an opportunity to share your thoughts back with us and with Zariah and Chanel and Karen and Mary Beth and Shannon. So Sherry, take it away with the couple of questions that we have time for here.
I'm gonna ask them in the order that I received them. Here's the first one. Would you be able to also chat with the littles via phone in addition to the time spent?
Yeah, so we do have ground rules that that all of our bigs and littles must follow. But yes, there's certainly communication. I'm sure, you know, Karen's little so young, but as they get older and their schedules change, our bigs and littles, you know, are texting each other. You know, we do have boundaries in place for sure, because we also want to respect everyone's time and you know, have those boundaries. But certainly our bigs and littles are in touch in between outings. We want those littles to know that their big is there for them in the middle of the week, not just on the weekends.
Very good. Okay. Is there a process for periodic rescreening of a big to ensure they continue to be suitable for the program?
Yes, I appreciate that question because, like I said, child safety is our #1 priority. We do annual background screenings for our bigs. And then I did notice a question someone put in the chat earlier about a big being rematched after their match closes. And at that time, they have to go through an entire screening process again, because many years may have passed at that point. But the answer to that question, I can get that question out of the way also, is yes. If a big has been through the program, their little graduates out or moves away, or for one reason or another, the match closes, they are eligible to be rematched after a new enrollment process.
Okay, great. Are there volunteer opportunities in the different programs like the school-based youth empowerment, etc.?
Yes, there is. And if anyone's interested, they can reach out to me specifically for those programs. If you have a friend or a family member who works for a company that they want their company to get involved, Mary Beth and I can have that introductory conversation with them. Consider starting a workplace program where you can volunteer at your place of work. Like I mentioned earlier, we have the Girl Empowerment Program. We're always looking for more women to join that program to do presentations, and also outside presentations for all of our group mentoring programs. So there's plenty of ways to get involved besides just the community-based program. And we're happy to have those introductory conversations.
Mm-hmm. Would you consider girls to join Girl Scouts in their county to provide a safe environment and be a part of their community?
Are you saying children in our program to encourage them to join the Girl Scouts?
Yes.
Certainly. We don't have a partnership with the Girl Scouts, but we have plenty of kids in our programs that are enrolled in the Girl Scouts. That's something that their family would likely get them signed up for. But if there was a certain you know, Girl Scout organization that wanted to reach out to us to partner, we could certainly work together on getting children in our program enrolled, so that way they get the same opportunities that other children do as well in their communities.
Mm-hmm. Okay, how about custodial dads? Are they eligible to request a big for their child?
Yes, I saw that question. I loved it. We certainly have single dads or custodial dads in our family. I mean, in our program, lots of our families, you know, most of our families are female-led single parent homes, but we do have dads in our programs with children. We want those kids in our program. Oftentimes, those boys might be eligible for a big sister, actually, because they don't have a female in their life, and certainly the girls as well. So we would obviously take it case by case, but yeah, we certainly have dads, moms, aunts, uncles, grandparents raising the children in our program.
Do you provide lists for not-for-profit organizations to purchase holiday gifts for children? What county could donations be dropped off at?
So we have, if anyone's interested in that, we run a very robust Adopt a Family program. I always like to let people know that yes, Adopt a Family is wonderful. We're always looking for donors for that, and you could just connect with me. But we also, as part of our CARES program, especially these last couple of years, our families have been struggling with groceries. And so what we do is we'll have grocery card gift cards to grocery store gift cards that we provide to our families on an as needed basis. We're obviously not a food security agency. We don't want them to only come to us for that. We obviously refer out to other organizations and food banks and such, but we do, that is something else that people can donate as well, if that's something they're interested in. It's something that goes a long way. And around this time of year is when they sort of start to dry up before the holidays.
Shannon and Mary Beth, Karen, Shay, Zariah, thank you so very, very, very much for the wonderful information you shared with us this morning and the inspiration. I also just wanted to mention that Delta Dental of New Jersey and Connecticut does provide Big Brothers Big Sisters. So I want all of our associates to know what a great organization. I know you know it already, but I'm going to say it again. What a great organization you work for. We provide a grant to support Big Brothers Big Sisters oral health initiatives for the past 4 years. Which supports children 6 through 18, and it runs through your CARES program, is what I am being told by Kim Elmore. So Kim, thank you for that information. We will provide a survey out with a link to the presentation when we have that shortly. I can't thank you all enough for your presentation this morning, and Zariah and Chanel and Karen and Mary Beth and Shannon. You guys just the beautiful information that you shared with us, and a really huge shout out also to our associates. I continue to be humbled and I admire you all so much for you joining these programs. They're optional. You come, you bring it, you share your good stuff with us, and I'm just so grateful. And I say that on behalf of the entire Diversity Council. So thank you so much, all of you. And Shannon and Mary Beth, Karen, Shay, Chanel, if you guys, and Zariah, if you can stay, that would be great. Sherry, look forward to seeing you all soon, and we'll finish our recording now. And thank you so very much again this morning for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
Very
Yes,
Thank you.
thank